Welcome back to Wake Up America. I'm Alison Maloni. Time now for our financial focus with our two money men. First, business and market analyst Seth Denson and accounting professor at Montclair State University, Dan Geltrude. Gentlemen, happy Monday to you.
Good to be here.
Morning, Allison.
All right, so today's topic is President Biden's child care tax credit. Seth, look, I'm a mom. I'm pretty excited about getting that check in my bank account. 35 million American families were sent checks of up to $300 per child on the new expanded child tax credit. So do you think this is going to really cut poverty in half? Because that's what Biden's saying.
Well, that's what they are saying. And could it? Sure. Will it? I don't know. I'm probably a bit more skeptical than most. And that's not because the funds aren't there. Listen, I am always for tax credits. I am always for taking more money and giving it back to citizens. The challenge we have here is there's simply just not enough money to give out because the government continues to spend. And here's the reality of the situation that we're in. Over 50% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. So with the government just giving out money, or I should say returning the people's money back, without any form of financial literacy, all we might be doing is expanding this paycheck to paycheck living. And my fear is that too many Americans won't understand what to really do with this money to help lift themselves out of poverty.
Yeah, Dan, some critics, they've framed this tax credit as this basically a repackaged version of welfare. Do you agree?
Well, welfare is, if you think about welfare, Allison, welfare, the point of welfare is to get off of welfare. It's to get back to work. So if we look at this particular program related to children, what's the end game? What we should have learned through history is you can't simply throw money at a problem and expect it to go away. You have to take the time to say, what is causing this issue, and let's attack that. By simply saying we are going to give more money out is not going to solve this. At the same time, we have to understand nearly 1 in 5 children in this country are living in poverty. That is completely unacceptable, and I think everyone would agree it's a problem that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, Dan, back to you on this because you mentioned, we have so many people living in poverty. Some of those folks don't even file taxes. So how are they even going to get this check? They have to go through a different system. And so you have to wonder, the people who really, really need it, are they even going to be getting this money?
Well, how else are you going to be able to monitor this program if you're not using tax returns? So I agree that that's where we need to start. But let's keep in mind that many people don't file tax returns. Why? Because they don't make enough money to qualify for that. So they are going to have to sign up, which means there is an extra step they're going to have to take. I don't know any other way around that. Is it fair? I don't see why it's unfair. If we get the word out about this program and people have to go through a process to sign up, then I think that's what needs to be done.
Yeah. Seth, do you think that these regular checks from the IRS, do you think they're going to lead people to leave the workforce? I mean, it's not a ton of money that you're getting each month.
Well, it's not. And Allison, you alluded to your kids. I've got kids. It's going to cost a whole lot more than what the government's going to give to raise these kids. And so certainly I hope that that's not the case. There may be some on the lower income thresholds that look to do it. There may be people that take advantage of this and say, well, listen, this is going to help cover child care for me, so maybe I'll go into the workforce. A lot of parents have to decide, is what I'm making enough to offset the cost of child care? So my hope is that this could stimulate that. But here's the reality, and this is what Americans need to know. This isn't right now a permanent thing. This is really only in place for a year. Now, the Biden administration has proposed it to be in effect till 2025, but it does phase out. And so people making long-term decisions based on short-term money, well, they're putting themselves in a potential hole.
Yeah, no, you're right, because, Biden and the administration, they want this to go on. They don't want this just to be a year thing. Dan, last question to you. So do you think that this plan is going to be beneficial for the economy, or do you think this is just going to keep getting us more in debt?
I don't think that it's going to be beneficial to the economy. I think in order to benefit the economy, you have to get people back to work and paying into the system, not pulling money out of the system. So from an overall economic standpoint, I don't think this is going to be that helpful. And let me just make one more point here. Remember, in 1964, Lyndon Johnson declared a war on poverty because we had about 19% of the country in poverty. I don't think that number's changed all that much all these years later.
Yeah, and then we also have inflation to deal with. So a lot to talk about, Seth and Dan. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Allison.
All right.
Thank you, Allie.